Hello, hello, hello. My name's Sam and you're watching Sew That Sparkle with Sam. Now, this is my hashtag Friday Sews video. So I'd like to thank very much the lovely Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for giving us all the chance to share the hashtag Friday Sews and for you all to be able to find fabulous Friday Sews videos. So, it's not Friday, it's Monday. Now, there was part of me that I thought, well, you haven't done Friday Sews this week, Sam. Just write it off. No Friday Sews. Do it next Friday. And then it got to Monday morning today, and I thought, if I don't do it today, I'm going to kind of lose the momentum from what I've done, because although I didn't do Friday Sews because I wasn't feeling very well last week, I had a bit of a cold that hung around. I have to say, still not totally 100%. But although I wasn't very well, I did actually get a lot of sewing in and a lot of things that I wanted to get done and planned. So I thought, do you know what? It's Monday morning, it's a new week. Let's just do a Friday Sews on a Monday. I hope that's okay. Here we go. So first of all, a bit of life. As I've already said, not been feeling 100%. And also it's been one of those weeks where we've just had like lots of really lots of news that's not been that great. And yeah, so it's just been a bit of a sad week, and I've been feeling a bit low, and it's also been a very busy work week. So yeah, it's just been one of those weeks, but I have not let it get me down, and I have just carried on regardless and just gone, right, come on. Sewing makes you happy. Sewing is your happy place. You know, carry on and sew. So that's been my motto this week, and that's kind of got me through. On Wednesday, the lovely Catherine from Soverton Makery and I decided that we would love to get together. Couldn't get together in person, so we decided to get together over FaceTime. And we had a lovely afternoon of sewing through our phones, which I really enjoyed, and it was just so lovely. We both had our own projects. I'm going to show you what I made in a little while with Catherine, and it was just great. And even though I was feeling a little bit sniffly and snotty, and you know, probably wasn't the best viewing for poor old Catherine, just seeing her face and talking about sewing for the afternoon really kind of gave me a bit of a boost. So that was really nice. And then really the rest of the week I have just been working and sewing, as you'll see, because I have definitely done lots of sewing projects this week. So on to the sewing. First things first, I'm just going to open my iPad because I sewed quite a few things that are completely new to me. So I've just got the patterns in front of me so that I can read them off to you, because I can't always remember what they say and I know how much you like to get the information. So the first things first, the first thing that I made, and this was something that I finished off sewing while I was chatting to the lovely Catherine, was the Viva dress. Now I'll pop a picture of it here. It's Viva by Fibre Mood. I'll put the pattern picture up first. And this was a pattern that I won. So a couple of months ago, I did the Sew Hayley Jane, where you have to put a hashtag, can't quite remember what it is now, but I'll put something about unboxing, your unboxing ritual. And I won a £15 Fold Line voucher. I had a little look on Fold Line, and that this particular pattern, this Viva pattern, really kind of spoke to me. So I thought, I'm going to buy it, going to treat myself to that. The reason that I liked it was it really took me back to dresses that I used to wear when I was younger, and particularly dresses that I used to wear when, you know, my children were younger, dresses that could kind of really go through the seasons, that could go from summer, you know, and then stick a mock turtle neck underneath it, and it takes you into autumn with tights on. And I saw it and I thought, oh, that it really kind of took me back to those times. And also I am a sucker for a square neck and a drop back line, a square neck back line, and I am in there. So yeah, so that it really kind of drawn to me. So I thought it was only right and proper to use the So Hayley Jane fabric that I got in my subscription box. And it was an absolutely beautiful, it was like a purple floral, and I'm pretty sure it was a viscose, but if I've just gone to check, it was definitely a viscose, and I'll pop a picture up of the So Hayley Jane box so that you can see what I got in my box. Yeah, I've got terrible brain fog today. I think when I'm not feeling 100%, my menopausal symptoms get worse. I don't know whether anyone else feels that, has that, but if I'm not tip top, everything else just gets a lot worse, and my brain fog is probably one of my most ridiculous symptoms at the moment. So yeah, so you're welcome. Viva by Fibre Mood is described as a minimalist princess dress with darling sleeves and a square neckline. The front and sleeves drape effortlessly from the gathers at the yoke. We made our Viva with a generous flounce at the bottom, but if you prefer a more understated look, simply leave it off. And there's no time wasted fiddling with fastenings, just pull on Viva and go, Viva, go. So yeah, that was that. Now I did add on the flounce. I will show you, hopefully I'll be popping pictures of mine up here so you can see. I had 2.5 meters of this beautiful plum coloured purple viscose in my box, and I used every last scrap. I had not a scrap left at the end of it, to the point where when I came to cut out my flounce, I did have to slightly change the shape of it, and I had to make it slightly narrower. But bearing in mind that this is made for a model, I think, of 5'6", and I'm 5'3", 5'4", I don't think it really mattered. I think I ended up just making it the right kind of size for me, if that makes sense. So yeah, every last scrap was used, but I really enjoyed making it. However, it was my first Fibre Mood pattern, and it was a little bit eye-opening. Now, I have never known any pattern before to give me so much information that I didn't need. I was sat there for ages, just rereading things, and there was like one part where it kind of gave 2 or 3 paragraphs on something that I didn't really understand until the penny dropped, and it was like, oh, they mean gather. Oh, they want me to do gathering stitches. Why didn't they say that? Yeah. So although the instructions, you know, were quite comprehensive, they weren't necessarily clear to me. And yeah, I mean, as I said, as you all know, I'm fairly new to dressmaking anyway. I've not been dressmaking that long, but I've done it, you know, I'm full in, and I've done a lot of dressmaking, but I did find those kind of instructions quite difficult to follow, even though they were quite comprehensive. But we got there in the end, and we had a beautiful dress. So, you know, nobody didn't fall out with Fibre Mood at all. It was fine. And would I have another go at one of their patterns? Yes, because now I know to largely ignore a lot of their waffle and just try and get to the nitty-gritty of what they're trying to say. So if anyone else has any advice about Fibre Mood patterns, then please let me know, because I do actually like the designs of some of them. But yeah, you know, so there's my Viva. If I was to make it again, I would make a few changes. So I looked at the finished garment sizes, because I do normally need to do a full bust adjustment on most things. I looked at and because of its floaty nature, and because it had quite a lot of gather here at the front, I thought, do you know what, I think I'll be okay not doing a full bust adjustment. I'll just kind of grade out in that area, to give me, you know, to just make sure I've got plenty of room. so I didn't, and I wish I had done, because I'm a little bit short under my arm area, and although it's fine, and I don't think anyone notices the pulling other than me, because it is literally, we're talking like a couple of centimeters, I would probably do that. And the reason that I would do that is because I think it's going to be a lovely dress to go from summer to autumn and autumn to winter by layering. And if I want to wear something underneath it, I want to have that extra room under my armpits, because obviously, you know, it was fine getting my arms up and down with it without something underneath, but if I put something underneath it, it might be a bit tricky. So that's the only thing I would change, really. Yeah, but I did really enjoy making it, and it was really good fun once you got over yourself and got over the instructions. So yeah, so that was my Viva. That was my first project. The next thing, I finished my Marlowe. Woohoo! Honestly, it's taken me so long to finish this blasted cardigan, but I'm so glad I did, because I love it. Here's a picture of me wearing it with my Donny shirt, and it's perfect with that. And I've got it here. I've actually just taken it off the airer, because I wear it so often, it's already been washed. And can you see it's got my little Liberty buttons that I bought when I went to London with the recycled plastic, and on this kind of speckly fabric that I bought from my local haberdashery. And yeah, and what can I say, really? It's a lovely, easy peasy cardi, easy to wear, easy to sew, does everything it says on the tin, really. I really enjoyed making it, although I did procrastinate a lot, and I don't really know why I did. One thing I would say is I went for the shorter version, but because I like the way that sits on me, and I'm gonna wear that with more things, but I did miss the pockets, so I don't know whether I can perhaps make it a little bit longer and put some pockets in, or whether I might just have a go at making the longer one in a different fabric, and try with the pockets, because I do like pockets in a cardigan. So if I made it again, I might have a go at making the one with pockets. But yeah, easy peasy. I took some advice from the lovely Rachel at French Seams. She's made quite a few now, and other people have told me as well as Rachel that it is quite oversized. You have to look very carefully at the finished garment measurements. I did only size down, though. I did only size down, I think I sized down 2 sizes. I could have sized down 3 sizes to get it to my body measurements, but I wanted it to be a cardigan. I wanted it to be an oversized cardigan, and it still is, and it goes over my clothes fine. So yeah, so I think I just went down 2 sizes in the end. But yeah, it's definitely worth looking at the finished garment sizes for that, because it is a bit tricksy. But I guess they're looking at it as it is a really oversized cardigan, and it depends on how oversized you want it. So that was the Marlowe, and oh my god, how freeing was that to get that finished. It was so freeing to get it out of my whip pile and get it finished. So I want to give myself a big tick. I was very proud of myself. The other thing was another thing that I've had in my whip bag for months, and this was a project that I originally was going to do for So Frugal in February, and I cut it all out, put it in the bag, and there it stayed. So I got it back out again, and I've got it finished, and here it is. And it's got a bit of a flappy facing, but you know, hey ho. And it is the Fit and Flare dress, and I will pop a picture of me wearing it up here. So the Fit and Flare dress is by So Easy, SOSEW, easy. And it totally gives me 90s vibes. I definitely wore a lot of these in the 90s. It's got a scoop neck, short sleeves, and then it's done in panels, which makes it really easy to fit because you can kind of adjust the seam allowance into the panels for a bust fit and a back fit. So if you need to do any adjustments, it makes it really easy to do that. And then it has a very, on me anyway, it has a very gradual flare. I was hoping for a bit more of a flare, but I'll pop a picture of me wearing it. And I think after discussing it with my daughter, I popped it on yesterday and she had a little look at it and she said, Mum, it's too long. And I think she's right. So I am going to have a little look at it and perhaps chop a good 4 inches off the bottom. And then next time I make it, I might have a look to see if I perhaps will cut a larger size, so I get more of a flare, but then gather it in more at the waist and at the waistlines in the panels. So I'm definitely gonna have a go at it again because I did really enjoy it, and I think it's a lovely dress. But I definitely need to still work on the fit. But that's the whole point. It's a fit and flare dress, and so yeah. But it was it's a nice, quick and easy sew, and quite a nice way of using up your jerseys. Again, really autumn friendly. I could make it longer sleeved easily if I wanted to, or I could pop a cardigan over the top and then I could wear it with boots, tights and boots. So yeah, that is my fit and flare dress. So yeah, so already I've done quite well, haven't I? 3 items. So I was quite pleased with myself. And then I was in work on Friday and we have had a massive order. For those of you who don't know, I work in a local fabric shop to Leamington Spa called Carol and Rose. We're predominantly a sewing school, but we also have a small fabric shop. And we had some new fabric in, and we've had lots of dead stocks in. Deadstock Fabrics, for those of you that don't know, Deadstock Fabrics is kind of like the rubbish, if you like, without being rubbish, but it's what's left over from the fashion industry. So it's their excess from the fashion industry, and a lot of the time, and particularly in the past, it just used to get destroyed or put into landfill. And these days, fabric companies, after a period of time, are allowed to purchase it. But it means that you can buy really good quality fabrics and at a slightly cheaper price, rest assured knowing that they're not going to end up into landfill. So anyway, we had other fabrics as well, but we also had quite a few Deadstock Fabrics. So the lovely Karen said, Sam, why don't you take 2 home? Because I was gushing over quite a few. I could have chosen quite a few more than 2. Why don't you take 2 home and see what you can do with them? So, and this is why I haven't told you what I'm wearing, because this is one of them. So I had a really fun day on Sunday, and I basically challenged myself on making 2 items in a day. So I am going to do, at the end of this, I'll do a little kind of put together film of what I got up to and my end result, which was my 2 items. So the first item was this one. And this is from the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book. And this is the trusted Freya top, which I absolutely adore. I'll put a picture up of me wearing just my Freya top. And yeah, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And the fabric is a fine knit fabric, and it is £5 a metre. And it's definitely giving me some Jules vibe, if you like that kind of thing, you know. Yeah, absolutely great. And I don't know whether you can see, I did have a go at matching up the lines. I think I was more successful one side than the other, but you know. Yeah, so that was the top, and I just think, you know, £5 for a metre. I for a Freya I use just shy of 1.5 meters. I tend to buy 1.5 meters because if I want to do the cowl neck, then I can get that out of 1.5 meters. Doing this neck, I use a little bit less, but then I end up with enough left over to make a pair of pants. So I tend to get 1.5 meters. The one thing, and I was kicking myself afterwards, but it's an easy fix, is I always take an inch out of the sleeve and make it, and for some reason I didn't, and so the sleeve is a little bit long, but that's a quick fix. I just wish that before I hemmed it up that I'd realised what I'd done, but I didn't realise what I'd done until I put the whole ensemble on and realised that it was a little bit too long. So hey ho, you live and learn. Maybe I wasn't concentrating quite as hard as I should have been. But yeah, really enjoyed making that. And then to go with it, I made this gorgeous thing, which is a Tilly and the Buttons Cleo. And I've made a lot of Cleos in the past, and as you can see, I've used a Liberty fat quarter to make, and I get the front facing, back facing, and the pocket facing, which Tilly and the Buttons doesn't tell you to make, but I always put pocket facings on mine out of a fat quarter. And so instead of doing the pocket in the way that Tilly tells you to do, what I do is I cut out the main pocket piece, I add a centimetre seam allowance on the side, not the top, but the sides and the bottom. I cut out the same in the lining. I sew it right sides together, leaving a small gap in the side. I trim all of my seams, turn it through, give it a really good press, and then I sew the whole pocket piece on like a patch pocket, just making sure that I sew properly at the top, and then by doing that I sew up my opening. That's how I do it. I like doing it that way because I really like having the little pop of something. Obviously you don't have to do that. That's what I like to do. So, and then that way all of the placement and stuff is still exactly the same. And I popped a little label on mine that says be strong, be happy, be you. So yeah, and for my Cleos, I do sometimes put buttonholes and buttons on them, but occasionally I just sew it in, because I don't need to undo the buttons to get it over my head, but I do like the look of buttons, so I may get some buttons to pop on there. But yeah, and here me is wearing it. Here I am. Brain fog is real. So yeah, here I am wearing it, and yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous. So that fabric for the Cleo is, I've never felt anything like it. When it first came in, we thought it was jumbo cord, but it isn't. It's ribbed velour, and oh my goodness me, I could not stop stroking it. And every time someone comes in the shop, they give it a little stroke. It honestly is the most strokable fabric. I'm only just a little bit sad that we don't have it in any more colourways. I think it's just the nature of Deadstock Fabric that you get the colour that's the colour. So, but lucky for me, I like a bit of purple. So yeah, and my son's already come and coveted it and was like, oh mum, if you're thinking about making me a pair of dungarees for Christmas, I like that. So yeah, so that was my weekend. So on Sunday, that's what I did. And then yeah, even though I kind of got through on Lemsip Max cold and flu meds, I got through. So yeah, I hope you don't mind me doing my Friday sews on a Monday, but I just thought if I don't let you know what I've done, I'll either go by and I'll have completely forgotten, because that happens a lot, or yeah, it'll just get missed completely. So my plans for this week, I'm not going to share with you because I'm going to do it on a separate video. So my plans for this week are mainly for a new challenge for October, which is called #LongSleeves, and I have got a few things that I'm planning to make for that, so I'm going to hopefully film that video today also, and that will come out later this week. So take care of yourselves. I'm going to leave you with the video now of what I got up to yesterday. Have a lovely week. Don't forget to sparkle. Take care. Bye for now.